How did you guys find each other and become a few?
I feel like that's such a funny question. How did you find each other? Well, we were strolling down on the boardwalk one day.
Legitimately, because at least at the start, it worked. It was convenient, I think, like just time-wise. There was the odd people that you speak to, and you realise there is not a time in the week that we can both do the same time here.
Yeah, you want to do life with like people that you're close to and stuff, but also that like it works for everybody. And like I think instantly like all three of us just had like a very good rapport with each other. And even like our like threes now, like we spend half the time laughing probably and half the time like just encouraging each other.
How were your first couple of sessions together? Like, how did you set culture together?
We were all friends. I just seen Matt's mustache. Sorry, that's absolutely ruined me. You can't do that to me.
Take two.
Can we just point out that Matt Proctor is in a button-up shirt, gown over the top?
You look like a wise old sage, Matt.
A denim shirt and then a checkered dressing gown.
It's the look.
First 3 weeks, I think we each took a week to share our story, kind of right through from childhood up to present day, and particularly around like faith and moving to Nottingham Trinity and stuff. And that was a good way for us to like level with one another. And I guess it bred a bit of a culture of like depth and actually going past the like 5-minute catch up to, you know, the half-hour sharing what shaped you and formed you, and the good and the bad, you know, the things that you love, the things that you find difficult. And yeah, some vulnerability and honesty, I think, was probably set in motion there.
We were kind of thinking about it and realised we didn't want it to just be kind of like, oh, we'll just kind of, it's just a routine sort of catch up. We all wanted the same thing, to spur each other on, to push each other, to keep each other accountable, but really to like make a commitment together to say, oh, I want to be hungry for Jesus, I want to go deep or whatever. And then to speak that, like, at least once you've named it at the start and say that's what this group should be, then when you kind of just start drifting inevitably at some point, you can kind of, you give permission to the other person to say, oh, actually, no, you said that you want to do this. I think that, like, naming that's what we wanted this group to be quite early on, I think has really helped it not just be kind of like it's got a direction, it's got like an aim.
Yeah.
And how has your view changed over time?
I would say like our intensity has probably like of what we were pursuing in prayer and like reading books together and stuff like that has probably dropped, but it did it really naturally, because I think we all kind of just needed to be held by each other in friendship and love and prayer in this season. And it's something that I just really, really valued. But just having some time and some commitment from each other where like I know Sam and I know Matt are going to be there, just to either get something off my chest or just be like, hey, can you hold me in prayer throughout this week and this? So yeah, it's evolved with the seasons, hasn't it, guys?
But we've moved from like, we went through a series of like early morning breakfasts. I remember we had a bunch of those. I miss those so much.
Those were so
which I was always like 10 minutes late to. But we used to always sit and have a fry up. We went through a series, I think it was Thursday mornings at like 7 a.m. or something. That was glorious. And we've had like lunchtime things. We've been doing a lot more evenings with Zoom and lockdown and stuff. So it has like changed that, but I've found that, you know, obviously you don't have to be rigid about it. And it is a dynamic thing, but I found that personally really helpful just because of that level of commitment. I think it's a good reminder that it's not just showing up even when you feel like it. That gets to a point where you've had a bad day, but you still show up and actually you allow yourself to show that to these people who you're deep friends and to be held in prayer, as Beau said. So that's been really helpful.
How would you say that being in a few has affected your relationship with God?
I went first last time.
I just spoke, so Matt, I think it's only fair.
That turned naturally.
It's like one thing to kind of like have this conviction and like speak out your thing before like God being like, oh yeah, I want to be hungry. I want like more of Jesus. but it's just way easier to like go back on what you said if you don't speak it out to anyone else. I don't know, it's just so much more like solid and real and can be lived out, and you can like it in the like the slug of the day to day and just like and the failing and all of that. It's just like, oh no, I know I've said it to these boys now. I can't go back on it because I'm not going to ring them up and just be like, oh, by the way. And it's just I guess it's just the whole thing is not entirely, but like something of an exercise in commitment. It's commitment to them. It's a commitment to what I've like said before God, but like, yeah, it's commitment to praying for them because it's my responsibility now to like hold these calls in prayer. And
what would you say to someone who's like thinking of finding a few or maybe meeting for the first time?
I would say go for it and find people that a close group of people, those 3 or 4 or whatever, that you can go deep with and be really vulnerable with, and watch how you're stretched. And it's a safe space where where what's said within here, it's not going to be broadcasted elsewhere.
I probably wouldn't like spend too much time worrying about whether the group that you're in is just like the ideal group for you, like if it works, if it fits into your life, and you've got a group that are willing to kind of say, this is what we're here for, and commit to it, then I think that's the main thing.
There is a level of like inconvenience to being in a few because you commit to these people, and humans are dynamic, and some days you won't be feeling it, and that's okay, and it might be a bit clunky to begin with, but there is a level of like commitment and contribution and taking responsibility, which I think is really helpful for your own discipleship, and also